In today's episode, we get totally surprised. As we're messing around in one of our storage units, we get introduced to a neighbor who not only has a storage unit full of cards and memorabilia, but is also a former Major League player. Today, I try to negotiate his entire storage unit and maybe even get a few tips on my swing. Let's go chase him. So we're here in the storage unit. Amarillo, a couple days ago, we unloaded all of our junk wax. We're gonna start filtering through it and getting it ready for some upcoming whatnots, but it's part of the deal. Oddly enough, we got introduced to a guy who's in the same storage unit, former MLB player, has a storage unit right around the corner, and he's interested in us swinging by and seeing what he's got in his storage unit. So we're gonna go see him here in a minute. Cards, autographs, all kinds of odd things, but same storage unit. Why would we not go see him? I feel like we're just like a little covert operation here. We're following Scott in. Looks like his storage unit's right there, maybe. Scott?
How you doing, Ty?
Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
Thanks for letting us swing over here.
No problem.
All right, hold up. So who is this guy, you might be asking? Well, this is Scott Coolball. Scott was drafted in 1987 by the Texas Rangers, and he played from 1989 to 1994 with a few teams. He then played in Japan and Korea for a few years before settling into coaching since 1999. He currently is an assistant hitting coach for the San Diego Padres. His rookie cards can be found in 1990. So is this a family storage? You throw all kinds of stuff in
Yeah,
there?
we got a little everything in here. My wife does a little Christmas stuff. Holds some baseball bats. We got a little bit of everything, but
Cool.
I have two kids, and my son was in baseball, and
Yeah.
it was more about just collecting a few things for him.
Okay.
And then over time, he started falling in love and playing the game, so we ended up getting some equipment for him and practicing. And again, over the years, you start accumulating stuff. I've been in the game a long time, so.
That's crazy.
And then, unfortunately, this, family issue happened and with my brother, and he was a coach with the Colorado Rockies that, was hit by a line drive. And basically what happened is we put a foundation together called Diamond Dreams in his memory, and do some auction stuff to raise some money for the foundation. And my brother and I, we both played. He ended up signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. He finally made it to the major leagues with St. Louis Cardinals and Milwaukee Brewers, and we both played for the Cardinals system, which is pretty cool. Them both played in the major leagues, and saw that I got into coaching when he was finishing up playing, and he asked me about coaching, and he went off to coach with the Colorado Rockies AA team in Tulsa. Unfortunately, one night I got a phone call, and he was hit in the neck.
And Edwards delivers, and Sanchez ropes it foul off his
hurt.
first base coach.
Hit him in the head.
Oh my goodness, that hit
that
Mike
hurt.
Coolball, and he has been knocked out.
I had the car packed, and I got the call from the doctor who had said Mike didn't make it.
And unfortunately, he left behind his wife and two boys, and his wife was pregnant with now Ann, who is an exceptional young lady that is in high school. But from that date, we put together something that we thought that would help out the family and the kids, and we called it Diamond Dreams. We started doing fundraisers such as golf and bowling events. Through that time, this is how we kind of accumulated some of the stuff that we've got now to have auctioned off to raise some money for those kids that were left behind. And it's been a great foundation that we had for around 12 years, 13 years, and it's no longer now, and we've moved on, and some of the stuff that's left over is some of the stuff that we're trying to give to a place or a home that's going to take advantage of it or have it for their own safekeeping. Over the time, we got in touch with some people that were actually donating some stuff, and then we ended up getting involved with a couple ladies that had a huge warehouse full of memorabilia that they wanted to either donate or us to purchase so we could use this for, you know, foundational stuff.
What a neat introduction into kind of the collection that we're seeing, right? I mean, Scott taking care of his brother, the foundation, and using memorabilia in sports cards as a way to kind of fund that. Just really spectacular. It's neat having the history and the depth in this garage right here that you don't normally see when you open up a garage unit full of collectibles.
You know, I'm actually still donating and still trying to get to pass along. Yeah,
Gotcha.
So.
I can see cards sitting there, that little plastic.
Yeah. So there's all kind of stuff. I've got little knickknacks that over time that you know, some people would appreciate, wouldn't appreciate. Billy Sims, you remember Billy?
Yeah.
William Perry,
Refrigerator?
the refrigerator back in the day. So, you know, I'm in that area of the 80s, and you know, with the Bears, the way they wear the Bears, you know, and stuff like that. So I started keeping some things that, you know, with people that I recognized. And
did you get these things signed yourself?
I did not. These are some of the items that were over the years, like I said, that people either donated to try to give the Diamond Dreams Foundation that we didn't end up selling, and some of them we kind of kept for personal reasons. But you know, again, most of the stuff that we have now is just kind of like the last bit of stuff.
Got it.
Of course, over the the years, you end up gathering cards and things from yourself, and because of course you can go through a lot of this stuff is like Star Wars and a lot of the, you know, the comic book stuff. You know, players that I had played with in the minor leagues, and you know, over the years it's an accumulation of things, and it's pretty cool, you know, to go through it, and it brings back memories and of things of that nature. Basketball, there's a tell the basketball right there that you can see it's most of the stuff is in the 80s and 90s. A lot of this stuff had been really replicated on mass production of cards. Again, you'll see a lot of things in there that have been duplicated.
Sounds like I don't have to educate you then on what the card market was like.
No. So one of the things that we started getting, and people, I didn't realize it, is that things like this, like these plates.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Of the Simpsons plates. So kind of cool stuff, you know. Again, a treasure is only as much as the owner, you know, really wants, and I don't know what they were worth or anything, but at the end of the day, it was kind of some cool items that we ended up acquiring. And then a lot of this stuff that we had, now this stuff here was things that were donated, but you know, you'll see, you know, signed pictures of from the era of with Darryl Strawberry to Enos Slaughter, and you got again pictures of Sparky Anderson.
Oh, those are sweet.
A signed photo.
So all of these were from the collection that you bought.
Yes.
We're digging through his items, and you know, unfortunately, we got a lot of the junk wax stuff, which we've seen a lot of recently. Today, we're really intrigued by what he's got with the autographs that he found or was given in a collection.
They were going to give them away. They didn't know what the worth was, and they wanted to do a good deed and give it to us. And you know, over the time, we just didn't have enough people at our foundation that were wanted to buy a lot of the items. So it was just, you know, we collected them over time.
I immediately went to the COAs. Where are the COAs? This is cool. I mean,
that's Juan Marichal there. I mean, it's just like one of those things where, you know, some of these you can't even get anymore signed, right? I mean, they're unfortunately deceased. And
Manny Minoso.
Yeah.
The good thing about these, you got certifications from JSA on all of them. These are cool, man. I really like these. This one was interesting because it's got the sticker on it. JSA, and it's Brett Favre. Brett Favre autographed football. So as the door opened, I was expecting what I normally see in storage units, just piles and piles of, you know, the 90s era stuff. But after that first one opened and you saw some of the autographs, I think McCovey was one of the first ones I pulled out. I'm thinking, oh shoot, maybe the rest of these have some incredible stuff in them too.
And it's all sports. It's just not the baseball thing or football. It's you know, and
my goodness, there are stacks of these
stacks.
As a
So-
player, you know that they were printing crazy amounts of cards. What was the talk?
Well,
Was
at the
there a
time, you're
collector
yeah,
mindset as a player.
As a kid, you go up, you're playing, and you finally make it to the big leagues, and then you actually got a baseball card. It's like,
print 'em.
wow, just
Yeah.
cool, and everybody wanted them. Everybody in the family wanted them, so we basically gathered up as many as we could, and didn't know if I was going to be getting more printed or if this is a one-time thing. And so I started collecting. I had collected as a kid, and so over time, when I started doing this Diamond Dream Foundation and we were selling them, they're like, well, it's tough to sell those because these were mass produced. And so from that era of 90 to like 96 or so, it was just a mass production, and everybody would tell me, it's like, oh, the things that are really high value would be below. It was, before the 80s, and then, some of the new stuff today. And so it kind of discouraged me for a period of time, because I was like, I'm not just gonna collect it anymore. I'm not gonna worry about it. And because I didn't really were doing it to sell. I was just doing it for personal stuff. So like the Miguel Cabrera stuff that I have is all personal because I was able to coach him.
So Miguel Cabrera, just hearing him talk about him, right? I think we're going to look back a decade from now, and my kids are going to think, my goodness, Miguel Cabrera was that close to my era. Not necessarily a power hitter. Obviously had a lot of home runs, but just a solid hitter, year in, year out, did the right things every day. Pretty cool to hear Scott talking about the time you got to spend with him. Sounds like you were coaching during some good eras, and you were some good moments too, right? I mean,
100%. I think that one of the things that was special is the fact that I had a chance to play with some really good players. Obviously, stepping on the field the first time and Nolan Ryan being on the mound is overwhelming. From doing it as a player to going to the coaching realm, and being my first coaching experience with the Texas Rangers at the big league level is going to a World Series in 2011. So I've been touched and been blessed with the opportunity to be around a lot of people, guys like Adrian Beltre, tremendous players, to superstars like, Josh Hamilton, Ian Kinsler, Michael Young, all the people that in the Texas area, but also moving on and coaching players like Manny Machado that are still playing today, and Miguel Cabrera, who just retired. So it's been a pretty cool experience to be involved my whole life in this game and be experienced with people that have had greatness. Obviously, these are the two items that I cherish the most from the collection. I didn't think people realized that they had, but this is a Hank Aaron bat, and it's got Reggie Jackson and Frank Robinson,
Killebrew.
Harmon Killebrew. And that's actually Willie Mays' signature. And so really wanted to kind of hang on to that bat because pretty special group right there. Yeah.
So
and then this one here is probably the most cherished item. It's missing one name. There's three guys that have performed at a level that probably you won't see. 300 average, 3,000 hits, and 500 plus homers. And three guys that have done it in the game are Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Miguel Cabrera. And I've got two of them on the signature.
So you got Mays and Miggy.
Yeah, Mays and Miggy, and the one I'm missing is Hank Aaron. So it's like, pretty cool. Obviously, can't get two of the three names anymore. But it was a pretty cool story. So I was in with Detroit in 2022 and 2023. I didn't realize it, but I was involved in when Miggy got his
Triple Crown?
No, not the Triple Crown, but he was chasing the 500 homers.
Gotcha.
3,000. I was there for the 3,000 hits. I was there for the 500 homers. Wow. So it's like these milestones that he ended up achieving while I was there were just overwhelming. It was just a special 2 years watching him chase these things. And I didn't realize, but I had looked up and it said, oh, there's, two names that have done this only in the game. And I didn't realize that I had the bat. So I had two of them actually.
Unreal stuff that he had sitting in the back of his truck, and it was more meaningful to him because he spent a lot of time with Miguel Cabrera.
And I told Miggy, I said, look, the bottom line is if you sign this, I'll give you the other bat. And so he has the other one and his name's on it with that bat. So he signed both of them and he's got Willie Mays on that with him. But again, the Hank Aaron one is the one that's missing from it. But
the 2 bats are just outstanding. You don't see that very often. Kind of jealous that he pulled that out. I really want that stuff. I'm getting good at climbing through storage units.
yeah,
So what would you want for all of it?
I don't know.
Cards, I'm not super excited about the cards, but the autographs are intriguing to me. There's probably what? A couple hundred autographs?
You'd have to go through it. I'm sure there are. I don't
Yeah, because
have offhand how many there is.
There's the Willie McCovey, one of the ones that stood out to me right when we opened up this box. On the Perez Steel postcard as well. Really neat.
I mean, I can go through all of them, and you know, in here, these were the certificates for a lot of them. But again, like you said, it was.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of the COAs, they're missing the actual.
So they put a list together, and they had a description of all of them.
If you're enjoying this episode, swing on over there to that like button and crush that thumbs up. Don't get caught looking. All right, back to the show.
Who's the funniest player that you coach right now?
Funniest? You know, Adrian Beltre was probably and Elvis Andrus both had this comedy act that they used to have all the time. You know, Adrian didn't like his helmet taken off and touch his head, so every time they take the home run, they'd take the helmet off and rub his head, and he didn't like that. But it was their interaction was more hilarious than it was the actual individual person per se. But you know, you always have one of the team clowns. One of the more prized one is Aaron Judge.
Hello.
It's a big bat right there.
Is this his actual bat?
Yeah, that's the actual bat that he swung.
I feel like it would be bigger than this, but this is a manageable weight.
It's pretty big.
Is this a big bat?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, Josh Hamilton, Chris Davis from the Orioles back in the day. Those guys are the ones that swung bats probably that size, and that's a 35.
Okay.
Probably 35, 33.
You want to analyze my swing real quick?
Yeah, let's get out of the way of the camera so we don't break anything. I don't know. So we'll see.
I'm swinging Aaron Judge's bat.
There you go.
All right, we got a fastball coming in.
It's all right, not bad. Overall, little rhythm in the gather, and you know, swing has some smoothness to it. So
I'm gonna get back in the softball circle again.
There you go.
Well, you tell me, Scott. I mean, what would you take for this stuff, or do you want to do more research, or?
No, I mean, just tell me which items do you want, and then we can come up with something.
I mean, I'll buy the cards to make it easy because I can dig through it really quick.
Give me a price and let me know.
There's not hundreds then. There's probably 100 for lucky here. How about $850 for it all?
You mean take all the boxes? You're taking all the boxes?
Yeah, there's probably a few $100 in cards.
Yeah.
And I'm putting like $500 or $600 in the autographs.
Let me just make sure I tell my wife, because she was wanting to. She doesn't think we know what's in here, but okay. I'm fine with that. Like I said, I'm not trying to make money on it. That, you know, again, it's. But she was adamant about taking it over to the place and
sure.
But let me just make a quick phone call if that's okay. And I think that'd be, you know.
And if you want, I can double check a few of these. And if we're like, hey, a couple of these sold for a few $100, I'd text you and say, hey man, this actually did better than we thought.
If you were able to make the money on it, that's your deal. I'm not. I just want to make sure that I'm just not giving it away for free, obviously.
Yeah, well,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you wanted to keep the cards, you could totally keep the cards. I'd pull out the autos. But like, yeah, I can tell you right now, that stuff.
Yeah,
you can
I
barely
know that,
give it away for free.
Yeah.
I'd say probably half of them had COAs that you would trust.
I can't guarantee it either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to say, hey, just because this has an authentic thing that's like,
why it's so
you know
risky.
what?
Yeah.
Because what is the places over here in Dallas? They got a place, Beckett, that does it or something.
Yeah, there's a couple you could do. You're going to pay $75 a pop, no matter if they authenticate or not. So there's probably 20 to 30 that have JSA authentications, which are trustworthy. And I looked a couple of them up, and they went right to the right autograph. So I feel comfortable in those. The rest is just kind of a shot in the dark, and we'll see if somebody wants them. They're not great investment pieces when they don't have the right COA, so I got to play it a little careful here. What do you think then? What do you want to?
No, let's do it. Let's. I'll load it up. Help you load it up. Let's do it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no problem. I hope you enjoy it and it works out for you to do something with it. Something better than I would do than just sitting here.
There you go. Well, it was worth the money just to hear your stories.
No.
For sure. You're a treasure, man. So, total surprise today. Super excited that we got this. And so I looked up a couple of these, and they came back as good. They confirmed. So, like, Enos Slaughter, JSA authentication. It says held ML record for most games caught and was oldest living Hall of Famer for many years. No one could pass him until he passed on. Longtime Red Sox standout and uniform for Houston's new Colt 45s. Sounds better than the Astros. Look at that. That's a cool autograph, too. So that was quite the treat being able to spend some time with Scott. I think what intrigued me most about this collection was just the autographs here. We normally wouldn't buy autographs like this, but nearly all of the stack here was JSA authenticated.
If you're interested in any of these autographs, join our free email list to learn how to get them. Link is in the show notes. But in the meantime, let me show you a little sneak peek at what's coming next week. Keep chasing.
You got a Kobe rookie on the side here that was staring at me right when you brought it out. That's one of my favorite cards of all time. How many Jordan autos do you have then?
Maybe 8.
We travel across America, and every time I see a collector, I think, you know what, I'm less and less weird.
And the gentleman goes, well, I know where the crash site is, and I'm Easter Heathman.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?